Okay, so it's a ways back. The driveway is about half mile in total. So about 3/10 of a mile in, we get to here where our property starts. And there used to be a camper that marked that, but it was finally towed off the other day. And we'll waddle down the driveway. For those that don't know, we're on 8 acres in Timber, Missouri. 2 sides are up against forest land, and 2 sides are owned by another guy. Lots of plants and birds and critters and bunnies and deer and turkey and hounds. Loose hounds, that's the worst thing about here. But it is what it is, and it's mostly quiet. Probably quieter than Georgia was overall. And, the rocks here are terribly slippery. Everything's coated in river rock, and you step on them, they roll, and it feels like you're a drunk person even when you're completely sober. So they're very dangerous. By the way, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, so no, I'm not drunk. And down here. And we have a split in the driveway. So eventually it will be one direction only. We haven't quite figured out what direction is going to be in, which is going to be out. In the center island, most of these trees are going to come out, and that's where the critters are going to go eventually. The kind of a, not something we're real worried about right now. We want to get into the house first, so do this fall and winter. And it's pretty gentle land. I mean, it's much flatter than Georgia. Much, much flatter. Hello, Woody. And here's where the gravel's coming in on the driveway. Probably get a couple more loads here within the next week or two. And as you can see, you can start to see the ridges behind the house. It is about a 180-degree view. And there's the little house and the horse trailer. This is going to be where the first cabin goes. I cut this drive in the other day. You can hear the hawks having a fit in the background. The first cabin is going to go in here somewhere. And it will give a view of the sunset as well as the ridges once these are thinned out. This fall we're going to be working with conservation and thinning this and cutting and doing burns. Back out. There's the well house. Yes, we have a well here. We're stepping up in the world. It will get a little green tin roof just like the house. And see the view and Captain Destructo over there. See him, say hey. This is an island with a little chipmunk. Used to be a flower bed, it will be a flower bed again. Not this year. This is where the kitchen is going. Eventually, this fall, winter. Here's the start of the glades. And you got all the trees and hills. That glade will be restored. It's probably going to be a 5 to 10 year process. And it'll be all wildflowers and native plants. This is the other side of the island. And a little shed and nice little fence. It's probably going to be chickens or bunnies eventually. Right now it's holding everything. And this is the last spot we had to clean up garbage. That was done yesterday. Got some metal and a little bit more junk that has to be going away. It will probably be compost area. It'll give us room to set up 3 good composts for the humanure, then 1 year, 2 year piles. And down in here is another big fence. It goes down into the forest land. And there's about 1,500 acres back there. Parking and turn around. Mulch for the garden beds. Pile of dirt. Burn barrel. And this all goes into Conway Hollow. And some of my elderberries. There's a campsite that you can't really get to at the moment. And there is some of the rock shelf down in there. There's a pond. And it is filling slowly. It's about 15 by 20 and about 5 foot deep. This is the addition that we're cannibalizing as we go. Tent where we sleep. And this is going to be where the gardens are going to go, with a big fence to keep them from the critters. More of that fancy work on the house. And, this was an old shed. I'm not sure what we're going to do with it. And this was Ship Pit Alley, which is basically just went to the lagoon, which we're not using. And More down into the state lands and glade. Say, hey, Captain Destructo. The satellite. Stumps. This used to be an old shitter that really never had a tank under it. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that. And this is the bottom part of one of the glades. And this is Pigwaller Holler. It's very wet because the water runs off. More of my giant elderberry. Spiderweb. Woo-woo. And this is another glade that they trashed, or another part of the glade. Right now it's a shower station. And a lot of this is really damaged. And I got speckles all over my lens. Just one minute here, let me wipe them off. There. And this is going to be restored. Flowers. All these trees you see are going to be cleared and burnt. Or most of them. And that's pretty much a walk around at the time. On to the next one. These are trees we've taken down. Got the power company took down. Okay, here's the hut. Dirty dishes in the window. More wood. My dish pit. More elder.